Oh, baby. Oh, look at that. There it is. Man, if this music had a temperature, it'd be 78 degrees and sunny in Denver on a spring day. What is up, everybody? Welcome to the pregame show. Let's go. Manchester City pregame show live from Illegal Pete's in Lodo. I have not been in this place, you guys, since you've never been. I used to come all the time.
I came when it was across the street.
Yeah, I've never been to this location.
That's my point. I haven't been. My dumbass. I was like, they remodeled. They moved. Okay, they moved.
They did remodel.
That makes sense.
And do a new model.
Makes a lot more sense. This place whips, though, man.
It does whip. It does whip.
It's right in the heart of City, right by Union Station.
It whips right in the heart. I agree.
You know what? If I had season tickets, say, to the Denver Nuggets, you know what I would do before the games?
I have no idea.
I would come right here.
Right here.
I'd come right here, I'd do happy hour, and then I'd walk one block to the stadium. This is like a great pregame. It's like 2 blocks.
Yeah, maybe 2.
Maybe 2 blocks. On today's show, guys, the Nuggets have a chance to do something very special tonight. They have a chance to tie the franchise record for wins in a season. They can tie it tonight. Okay. So why don't we look back on that 2013 team, maybe pour one out, maybe just kind of reminisce a little bit about them. They were a great team.
I have my doctorate on this team. This is the team I'm
going to let you clear out ISO for that section.
I think we maybe will.
And then I'll take the fashion section after that. I'll do like jerseys and the new shirt.
I love that.
Okay.
And then also tonight, Michael Malone has a chance to pass George Karl, which is a big deal and much bigger than Nuggets fans realize. Malone, I think, is going to have a bottle of champagne. Why? We'll talk about that today as well. Ooh. We'll also do some bets. D-Line's going to make us money on the old bets tonight.
It's because we're playing champagne again?
Well, that's so good.
Champagne.
That's good. All right, I got the whole squad here rocking the same shirts. You can come down and join them. So I guess it's already, by the time this airs, it'll be over. Look at this. Stay on Parade shirt. I got Brendan Vogt.
Stay on Parade. The shirts worked last year, right?
They did.
Why not run it? I actually brought last year's shirt with me because it's good luck, and I'm hoping to do the same thing next year with this bad boy right here.
That's pretty good. Over here I got D-Line, the guy who actually designed it.
Is that right?
Yeah.
It's the first time hearing of this.
No, you did, yeah.
Yeah, man. Like, don't you like this actual shirt?
It's very nice.
Like the shirt
the color, yeah, like a blue-gray.
It's a nice light, it's a gray-blue. It's like springy.
What would you call that blue?
It's called Prism Blue.
I would call it Blue Jay Blue. The gray part of the Blue Jay is a little like this, where it has blue mixed into the gray.
No one would call that.
Yeah.
The non-artist giving his artistic opinions again on the show.
And then over there, Harrison Wind.
I was just thinking when that intro song was going on, thank God you chose a good intro song for the podcast.
I know.
It'd be really awkward if that song was not good all these years later.
Well, especially because we generally don't hear it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
In the studio, a little
but like everyone listening to it every day was like, oh, God.
Dun, dun, dun. Dun, dun, dun.
Guys, these things were all done intentionally. Nuggets in San Antonio to take on Victor Wembanyama and the San Antonio Spurs. Wind, you have game notes for us since this is live.
Absolutely. The Spurs come into this game at 20-60 overall. And I was looking at the standings. This is actually a big game for the Spurs. Do you know why?
Do they need to lose?
Tankathon.
So the lottery odds were reformed over the last couple of years.
That's right.
If you get into the bottom 3, that's where you want to be if you're a tanking team. One of the worst 3 records in the league, because those 3 are grouped together. Then it goes up to the next 3. So the worst 3 records have the best odds, same best odds at getting the number 1 pick. The Wizards and Pistons are locked into that group.
They've had great years.
They're locked into the bottom 3.
They've done big things.
Yeah. 13-67 for the Pistons, 15-65 for the Wizards. They're going to be in the bottom 3. They're going to have the best odds. There's one spot left. The Hornets, 20-60. The Spurs are also 20-60.
Man.
The Blazers are 21-59. They might be out of that race.
Oh, they have that game up. Yeah, it's a summer.
So it seems like it's between the Spurs and the Hornets for that last spot in the bottom 3.
Holy smokes.
So this is a big game for San Antonio. They need to lose this game.
Is Wemby playing?
He is playing.
Oof, tough call.
Well, first of all, they've lost 60
all the other games.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, if you really want to lose,
just play the regular season how they have.
Wemby is playing tonight. They do have a bunch of guys out, of course. I feel like most of these guys were out the last time the Nuggets and Spurs played, other than Malachi Branham, who's been added to the injury report with a concussion. He played against the Nuggets last time, but Keldon Johnson out, Sohan out, Vassell out.
You call him Vassal. I feel like that's that.
Vassell.
Yeah, I feel
Devin
like Vassal sounds a little bit worse.
Devin Vassell is
Devin
out.
Vassal.
Take that, you vassal.
So they'll have Trey Jones. They'll have Zach Collins. They'll have Victor Wembanyama.
All right. As long as they have Zach Collins.
Yeah. For the Nuggets,
We're so arrogant. I love it.
they've put their entire starting five on the injury report today.
Smart.
Everybody is probable, so everybody is expected to play tonight. Nikola Jokic, Michael Porter Jr., Aaron Gordon, Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, and Jamal Murray all probable and expected to play. Zeke Naji also probable and expected to play. But all those guys should be available.
I like it. It's a big night in the association tonight. Everybody playing, and everybody has something. So the Hawks are in.
I don't know what stickers you're talking about. He's looking for stickers.
Oh, yeah, we don't
know what
Scotty
he's
asked
talking
the guy
about.
with a headset that's not busy.
That was incredible.
Yeah.
The Hawks are in Minnesota for the Timberwolves. That should be an easy
Dude,
Timberwolves win.
It's so awesome to be a celebrity. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it is so
Just walk
crazy.
around,
Yeah.
everyone's like, "Is that them? Do you have stickers for Illegal Pete's?"
Can you take our picture?
No, I think he's actually looking for our stickers, which are right there, but nobody told me that.
I
so.
think that he's definitely looking for Illegal Pete stickers.
I don't know. He's got some DNVR stickers in his hand right
Well,
now.
Oh, hell yeah.
I think he was
Our
looking
guy?
for-
Are you talking about our guy over here? Hell yeah. Bucks are at the Thunder.
Nobody lets me know.
Bucks are at the Thunder tonight. And so that's a game that if the Thunder drop that one, then you can just eliminate them. They're out of the they're going to be the 3rd seed, which means Denver could only fall to the 2. So it is a busy night in the association.
Although Giannis is out, right? Worth stating.
Giannis is out. I think he might be out. I think there's a chance he's out, you
Yeah,
guys.
you know who's out?
Who?
The Bucks.
Well, I'm not playing any bets down on the Bucks right now. All right, so this game is good. Now we got to ask who's going to eat. The Circle K question, who's going to eat tonight? This is a hard one to project since we don't even know who's playing. There's not a ton of motivation other than just survive one way or another. So let's start with D-Line. Let's go in a weird
What?
order. Yeah.
What?
Yeah, let's start with D-Line.
Is this my birthday?
Yeah. You're kind of taking a while. Harrison, you want to go first?
Son of a bitch! All right, you know who's gonna eat? Peyton Watson.
Oh, he ate
Peyton
last
Wa-
night,
Dude,
or last game.
He's gonna eat via the block. If a man can live off blocks alone, my man will be eating and eating and eating and eating. It is time for. I mean, I'm not going to take all of PD Project Dynasty, but those two guys are in a place where they are getting attention. People are talking about them. It's got to feel good. I can't imagine them letting up. So they're coming with the energy and the focus and the fervor.
I said this on a show the other day that Peyton Watson makes blocks that only a handful of people can make. And I honestly think the only people that can make some of the blocks he makes, Victor Wembanyama, Giannis, and Peyton Watson.
That's wild.
Throw Jaden McDaniels out there. Throw Herb Jones out there. Those guys are good defenders. Probably better than P1 at this stage, but they're not as good as shot blockers as him. That guy closes the gap. So it's kind of fun that he goes up against Wemby tonight. Do you want to get real spicy?
Oh, my God. How spicy.
Sure.
Will he have more blocks than Wemby tonight?
Whoa! No.
Good talking. This is the guy that hates Wemby.
So his 6-block pace per game is going to trail off slightly.
You think,
I mean, I don't feel like that's an insult, is it? To say that he's going to have...
I'm just saying you could be bold, and if it happens, it's awesome. And if it doesn't happen, no one's going to hold you against it. It's the perfect prediction to make.
I love it. You know what? No, I'm just not going
Pump fake.
Bo, who's going to eat tonight?
Jamal Murray. I think everyone else is ramping down right now, and Jamal Murray is ramping up.
I kind of wonder if he plays.
Trying to.
He's expected to play. He's probable. He's just expected to play.
Hang on, let me double check my notes. Yeah, no, I think if he does
playing.
play, you know, he's ramping up. He's trying to get in shape. He's trying to bring intensity. He's trying to get back to that level while everyone else is trying to stay healthy. So I don't know if he'll play 38 minutes, but in the minutes that he plays, I think Jamal Murray will lead.
I like that take, man. Murray going off tonight would just, like, my confidence is Murray is already, like, there. Like, this is going to happen again in the playoffs. But every game that goes by, it's more there. So I'll go for it. Wind, round us out.
Nikola Jokic is going to eat tonight.
That's a classic win.
Why is it classic win? I'd never take Nikola Jokic to eat. He's going to eat tonight because he eats against the Spurs, and he eats against Wemby.
He does.
42 points against Wemby just a couple weeks ago on April 2nd. The game before that, 31 points on 13 and 19 shooting. He murders the Spurs and Victor Wembanyama. He always kills them. And I don't know what we're going to get out of the rest of the Nuggets starters tonight. Yeah. I'm not confident that they're going to come to play. I am confident Nikola Jokic will come to play tonight, though.
Yeah.
I'm going to round out Project Dynasty then.
Yeah.
I'm going to take Christian Brown.
I can't believe you didn't go
I
Christian
know.
Brown.
I thought it was a lock. I thought it was perfect. I think Christian Brown has also been running it for him. I'm with you, D-Line and Harrison. I think that there might be low energy from some starters. I think I like your take about Murray because I do think he might, if he's playing, he's bringing it tonight. But I could see like AG, Michael Porter, KCP, whatever nights, whatever. And I think there could be lots of opportunity. If I'm Michael Malone, you round out the season with an afternoon game on Sunday. You're on the road. This is a great chance to give an extended opportunity to those guys, and they've been up for it lately. And by the way, CB might still have adrenaline hangover from that last game where he got 3 dunks in a row over Rudy Gobert.
And made it onto the most hated list in the NBA, dude.
Oh, man. Do you think he was on Reddit the other day?
I've been buzzing about this. This is the best thing. This is the best development. We've
been waiting for it for 2 years.
Because everyone looks at the Nuggets and they like try to find a reason to hate Jokic.
Right.
There's like got a lot of guys you have to find a reason to hate, but to have an actual villain on the squad, that is a dream that I never thought would be realized.
Yeah.
Real quick, I'm having a peach margarita. Highly recommend.
That's nice.
Peach is not a flavor.
One of those right about now.
I'm telling you. Ask Scott. He'll grab you one and throw it on my tab.
All right, I'm going to message Scott.
So delicious. So delicious.
No one watch the second half of this show, please.
All right, let's move on now to our topics. We feel good about the Nuggets tonight. They do have to get a win. It is like it's a must-win game, actually, you guys.
It is a must-win. It's a must-win vibes game.
This is the weirdest must-win game ever, but they actually do need to win it, so we'll see what happens.
Forgot about that.
But if they win tonight, guys, it's actually a really big night on 2 fronts. Number one, we're going to talk about in 2013, the Denver Nuggets set a franchise record with 57 wins. And I got to tell you, in the likely possibility that the Nuggets tie it tonight, that team will lose a little stature, a little status in the history and the lore of the Denver Nuggets, and I'm sad to see it, even though I think it's appropriate. I think Jokic and Murray's Nuggets are the best Nuggets that have ever been Nuggets.
Right.
So there is something weird, so it feels
best
fitting.
Nuggets that have ever nuggeted.
So it does feel fitting that they would end up tying and then hopefully surpassing that mark. But I gotta say, it is gonna be sad. I don't know who the second best season of all time is. I don't remember. It's 55 wins, I know that, but I don't remember what year it was.
Right.
So this one will eventually lose its luster, and I wanted just to kind of reflect and pour one out here. D-Line, you mentioned it. You cut your teeth on this team. This is where you fell in love.
Well, I fell in love with the team when I was a young man.
Yeah.
This was my... I don't. Which part about that? The man, young.
It just sounds
you were like
funny.
you were only like 30, 35 or something.
Oh, I see.
Okay,
This is an old joke. I didn't know where it was going. Yes, I'm an old person. I remember the cart and buggy. Anyway, when I was young, I loved Mutombo teams. Chris Jackson / Mahmoud Abdul-Rauf, like those guys.
Yeah.
But this was my true This was the first season I bought season tickets for. Was the 57-win season with Danilo Gallinari, with Ty Lawson, with all these guys. That it was just the most fun I ever had going, because they won every game at Pepsi Center at that point. Pepsi Center, except for I think 2. So they just every single time I went, they won. It was incredible.
Yeah.
That team just ran and ran. They were so up and down. They scored so many points. Their defense was completely suspect, but it didn't matter until the first round of the playoffs, where they got knocked out by the Warriors, and then they gave rise to the Warriors dynasty, and I never recovered because Danilo Gallinari tore his meniscus going into the playoffs, like basically what just happened to Giannis.
No, who had a meniscus injury? Somebody
I just
had
mean
one.
it got a
Karl Anthony Towns and Joel Embiid.
Joel Embiid
did it earlier.
But it happened to Gallinari
7
like
games
a week before
games,
the playoffs started, and I just was there. I remember him clutching at his knee. It was the saddest, most troubling thing that ever happened to me. But that team was so fun, manimal, just everything about them was just pure sugar. If I can make an unhealthy callback, heroin. It was more heroin.
Yeah. Second straight show heroin talk.
It was, but I'm just saying, like, there was just such an innocence, and it was like, they didn't really have to go through the trouble and the toil, because the season before was when there was all of the melodrama.
No, 2 seasons before.
I should say, Melo.
3 seasons before?
If I remember, this was
10, 11?
This was right after the wreckage that was supposed to be what Melo left behind, and actually they were better than any team that he had been on, and so it
You
was
had
just
the Melo trade, then you had the lockout year, which was just a weird year, and then it was this year.
Yes. So it was like the first real season after the Melo wreckage, and it was so it just felt so good, because you thought that we were going to be left behind in the dust, that the NBA had passed us by, because, as everyone will tell you, the Nuggets didn't matter without Carmelo Anthony, and he made them relevant and all this stuff. And then we were better without his bum
ass, you can say it.
Oh, without his bum ass.
Yeah, say it.
And
this is what people don't understand. This is why I hate the everybody guys need to get over Melo. Fans get to feel how they want to feel, and also that sucked. It sucked.
You don't, like, unless you were there, and unless you were held captive by Carmelo Anthony for an entire season after you went to the Western Conference Finals.
That's the thing, is they were awesome. They were good.
Awesome, and then he held the entire team, held them with ransom, and we were just like, every day was like, he's going to go to the Nets, he's going to go to the Knicks, and we just, every day, it's like your girlfriend broke up with you, but like you had to be there while she picked a new boyfriend. Yeah. And it was like going to take, like, you were part of the process, and
you're like, I don't know if he's a good fit for you. What am I saying?
Yeah, but then you were like, could we possibly get Derek Favors back? Like, anyway, it was a disaster, and that 57-win season was so beautiful, because, again, it just reaffirmed that there was something special about the Nuggets and Denver that wasn't innately tied to Carmelo Anthony.
Well, here's what people need to know. They had a 15-game win streak. That's a franchise record that year. They won 15 games in a row. And to your point, this team was Andre Iguodala. It was Ty Lawson, Danilo Gallinari, Kenneth Faried, Andre Miller, Wilson Chandler, Corey Brewer, JaVale McGee, Kosta Koufos, Evan Fournier. It was a lot of good players, no great ones. A lot of good players, and so it was not a team that you would think would set records for a franchise that's been around since the freaking 60s, but yet they did it. And so they had a 15-game win streak, and this is what's cool. When you said you bought tickets, they had a 21-game home win streak.
Yeah.
They lost in like November and then didn't lose again until April. That is unbelievable. Actually, I don't even remember if they lost in April. I'll have to look this up. It might not have been that.
I'm telling you, that team was so fun.
Well, there were two defining traits about that team. One was they didn't have a star.
Yep.
Yeah.
Which made Ty Lawson or Danilo Gallinari, depended on the day, or Iguodala.
And they lost on January 18th and then did not lose at home again the rest of the year.
And then the second part about that team that people remember is that they played ridiculously fast.
Yep.
They
just run.
They got on the court at Pepsi Center and just ran other teams off of it. And that's the reason why they were so good at home. They just totally leaned into let's run them off the court at altitude. And it worked. Like, they had the personnel, they had the style, they had the coach to do that.
It was a great example of a team that matched the coach's ideal. You know what I mean? Like, that was a team that George Karl wanted.
Yep.
And the fact that it didn't have a star might have been played into George Karl's hand a little bit in some ways. Like, he didn't have to deal with that, which he wasn't necessarily great at, historically. But it was a great team. It was a fun team. It was not in any way, shape, or form the greatest team to ever be a Nuggets team.
I mean, they lost in the first round.
Well, they lost Gallo, too, but they did lose. But I will say this. You mentioned it. That playoffs burst the Golden State Warriors.
Yeah.
There's a part of me that kind of hopes we can kill the Golden State Warriors this year. I feel like it would be poetic to come full circle on it.
Yes.
It would be. Break the record.
End it.
And then end it. I think it'd be really cool. But also tonight, guys, there's another thing that's at stake. And this one, that is to tie the record. But this one's to break a record. And that is George Karl's record for wins in Denver. Now, this is a regular season record. If you add in playoffs, George Karl's got him. He's got Doug Moe even. But if you just go to regular season, George Karl has a lot of wins, 423. So does Michael Malone. But Harrison, or actually I'll throw this to you, Vote. You know the history here. Michael Malone's first gig was in Sacramento. George Karl lobbied to get the job while Michael Malone had it. Michael Malone gets fired. George Karl takes over that job. You know who's never forgotten that?
Yeah.
Michael Malone. And I'll even share a little behind the curtain here. I used to do a show with George Karl. I know that he hated that. It was one of those things where like, F that guy, got me fired, and now he does a show talking about me and criticizing this or that. Just it goes to show you, I think that this one, Mo loves history, he loves all that stuff, but there's some guys he's like, F that. I think Michael Malone would smoke the biggest cigar, pop the most expensive bottle of champagne tonight, when and if he passes George Karl on the Nuggets.
Either that or yell at Harrison for asking him the question in the presser. One of the two. Probably both. I would love to see it. And then, to be honest, I think it'd be really cool. You asked us the other day, would we rather see Melo or congratulate Jokic or George congratulate Moch? The latter would be really cool. And
The latter will happen.
hopefully, yeah, that'd be awesome.
George is good at that. I always say of George, he's an asshole, but he comes by it honestly.
This is. I
You
mean,
can
this
definitely
is,
say that about him.
This is. Yeah, well, like, fuck you. This is like where these are just like incredibly competitive people.
Yeah.
But
Unbalanced.
time gives you perspective, and no, he doesn't give perspective.
I'm just asking. I'm wondering what you mean by that with regards to this relationship.
Well, I think that
George Karl still goes in the timeline to like flame Carmelo.
Well, that's because there's no, like, that's still acrimonious, and they talk about each other publicly. Like, that's still like kind of rough. Like, I feel like George Karl will appreciate. We'll see. I mean, listen, I could be proven wrong because we're just talking about what some guy will do.
Yeah.
But I believe that this is the type of thing where, you know, you don't want your record to be broken, but once it is, you're like, you know what? Tip your hat.
And this would be second most, right? Just to be clear.
Yes, Doug Mo still has the lead. But that again will fall next year should Michael Malone return, which we expect.
Yeah. It feels right for Michael Malone to get it right now. And I mean, he actually does have more combined regular season and playoff wins than George Karl as of right now. But just to get the more regular season wins, to get it with this team coming off a championship, it feels right.
It does feel right.
And there is something too, like touching tribute to the 57-win team, but there's like, you know, for forever that was the highest watermark, right? That was as far as the Nuggets have gotten. That was your team you loved. And while change and nostalgia always have a tinge of sadness to it, this is a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
That team falls by the wayside because we're talking about champions now, and that's what everyone waited for.
It's also cool. George Karl played in San Antonio back when he was in his playing days, and Doug Mo lives in San Antonio. Also coached San Antonio.
Should have put this in game notes. They're playing in San Antonio tonight, not Austin.
Yes.
If you were confused.
By the way, if you want to know what a Spurs-like dynasty does to your town, beautiful street art everywhere. Every fourth person in San Antonio is in a Spurs jersey. Like, it's just, and as you would expect after the run they had, but you touch down there and you're like, oh, basketball town. And hopeful that 4 or 5 titles later.
Literally, there's not that much to do in San Antonio.
That's a big part of it as well.
Spurs and the Riverwalk.
That's right. Riverwalk, though, pretty nice.
And the Alamo.
And the Alamo.
Alamo,
yeah, that's.
You could live without it.
Yeah, you can take a quick tour of it, you know.
The doorways
check
on
it
the
out.
Alamo so small.
They are small.
Well, people were
very
smaller
small
back in the
then.
day.
People
you
used to be
didn't know.
older and smaller.
Yeah, it depends. It's relative.
Yeah. Anyway, should be a big night. And honestly, I'm curious to hear what Michael Malone has to say about when and if he passes George Karl. I actually think that would be very interesting on a lot of accounts. One, for the Schadenfreude, perhaps. But also, I think that Malone, this means a lot to him. I know it does. For him to become the second winningest and ultimately the winningest coach in Nuggets history, that'll mean a lot to him. And I was even looking at it, boys. The winningest coaches with one single team. I think he's like 19th or 17th or something like that right now, all time in the entire NBA.
Wow.
So there is a chance. I was just trying to do the math. Like some of the guys at the top, your Phil Jacksons, who were at the Bulls for 8 years or whatever, and they won 60 games every year. You've got your Jerry Sloans, who was there for 30 years. Like there's Popovich. There's some guys he'll never reach just because he'll have to. Well, he'd have to coach the Nuggets for the next 20 years to reach him, but you never know. But there are a lot of guys that he could climb up that board and get to 11, 12, you know, just with this era, maybe even slightly higher than that. I think it's cool. All right.
Can I interject a section?
Go for it.
Because we're not on time constraint. A lot of people have asked me to do this. They want me to talk about the Wembenyama logo.
Ooh. Oh, I've never seen. Oh, the alien.
I don't have a lot to break down, but I've been petitioned to do this. Kale has it up. Okay, so let's talk
clear
about
out
this.
and cook.
Nike did this promo. They didn't say specifically that this is the Wembenyama logo, although it is very clear that that's what it is. They released this on the eclipse day to make it seem like more mystical and tie it into the alien nature of Wembenyama.
I love the idea that aliens would only visit when there is a solar eclipse.
Naturally,
yes, they have to arrive under the cover of darkness, which they can only do in a solar eclipse or any night.
Yeah.
So
I've seen signs.
yeah, that's just science. So they did this promo that people have frankly been losing their minds over. They love this crop circle thing that they did.
Yeah, I'm not sure why.
I don't know why they got so excited either. Wembenyama actually has an alien logo that he himself made.
Yeah, that's cool.
But what they've done now, obviously, they just integrated it into a basketball. The one thing that I think that is a little bit overkill is the 2 Nike swooshes.
Yeah,
that they
that's a
put
little
in.
much.
It's a little too much for me, especially when you reduce the logo. It's going to be get a little messy, but
it looks like a alien/octopus. I will
does look
say
like an
it does have
octopus,
octopus vibes. To
an
me,
alien-octopus.
Octopus. These are two. What they've done very obviously, they've taken 2 very understood symbols and combined them: a basketball and an alien head. I think it is going to be the one thing that I do like is that it's not just like another very tired taking a person's initials and combining their number into it. That ultimately doesn't mean anything. This actually has meaning to it. It's clever. So I think it actually will have quite a bit of staying power. So I give it a thumbs up. But why? Obviously, we need to see what follows. But there's your breakdown. You got it.
There you go.
It's a good logo.
It is a good logo. But again, the Nike swooshes, it bothers me that they did that.
Can I just say that this alien head he drew for himself has been the standard
That's my point. Is it
2D alien?
That's the point. Is that
that's a clip art alien.
The basketball and the alien, like you could find both of these. These are well worn.
No, I'm just saying as
symbols.
far as like he drew it. I'm like, yeah, did he use a template?
Yeah.
Like,
Did he trace it from like
30 years? Yeah.
I will say though, if there were to be like, if we saw aliens, good chance they would look like octopuses. Octopi.
Why do you say that?
Yeah, what are you basing that on? DraftKings?
No, so part of why our brains developed, one was our fine motor skills in our mouth, but also the fingers and the ability to manipulate takes a lot of brain power to use. And octopuses with 8 tentacles takes a lot of brain power to use. They're very clever, very smart, but cold-blooded, so they can't. It takes a lot to power the brain.
There have been a lot of like very late night conversations that have been centered around whether or not octopi originated on this planet.
They really could. I also had a buddy in college, did a lot of drugs. He thought mushrooms were from aliens.
That's another prevailing theory.
I saw a
could be.
film too. Like the Earth is hollow.
Oh.
And they're like giant
They're under there?
monkeys and
They live in there?
lizards. Yeah.
Was
that the movie The Core?
Dude, that's so tight.
Well, that
That's
was
so tight.
no. That's Godzilla vs Kong. My bad.
Okay, all right. Do we want to make like a bet or two? Just to get out of here? Bet 365
I will
presenting
say with
sponsor,
this
also
logo,
Military presenting sponsor.
Nike has already put 100 times more effort into building Victor Wembanyama's brand than they put into building Nikola Jokic's in 8
Well,
years.
they didn't build his
That's
brand.
what I'm saying.
Yeah, that's fucking very annoying. Okay, let's pull up the the Bet365, the Draft 365, the Bet365 app, and let's place our bets. I'll tell you what, let's go straight Dev on your ass. Let's start on the Spurs side of things.
Let's go to the other side of things.
I didn't even look. What is the spread on
10.5.
10.5 for the.
I believe. Let me see if it's
10.5.
Yeah, 10.5.
That's still there. You got to think the Nuggets are going to win this game. You hope that the Nuggets are going to win this game. We did a whole preamble about the 57-win season. If they don't win this game, it's going to be a huge bummer.
I'll tell you what Sunday's pregame show will be if we do that.
So you gotta
Live from Illegal Pete's.
You gotta like the Nuggets. You gotta like the 10.5. It feels like an outrageous number, but I mean, come on. What are
Yeah, I agree. I think you like the 10.5 here.
You like the 10.5. And over on the Spurs side of things, I'm going to go to a place that makes a lot of sense. I'm going to go Victor Wembanyama.
What?
Over 3.5 blocks. Give me those blocks.
That's all the blocks are. I might actually do this one.
And it's minus 115 for that. That's like pretty good juice.
Maybe they don't think he's going to play.
I think, if he doesn't, who
playing.
does? I'll also go over 23.5 points for Victor Wembanyama. He's going to be taking on the lion's share of the scoring because really that team has nothing else going on, so why wouldn't they? On the Nuggets side, I like the theme of staying on blocks.
Please,
Stay on blocks.
Yes.
Peyton Watson
Let's
over
go.
1.5 blocks.
I took it before he even said anything. Plus 155?
Plus one. Dude, it's
Oh, man.
plus money.
What are they doing?
Wonder if Adam shifted the line.
I'll tell you what they're not. I'll tell you what they're not doing is paying attention. Peyton Watson is like a man possessed. Watson has arrived.
Sponsor's gonna love this segment from Eric.
Why is that?
Just keep going.
Oh, okay. Yeah, plus money. The other thing that I love is Christian Brown to get over 0.5 steals.
Ooh.
Over
That's a good
0.5
one.
steals. I mean,
That's a good bet,
the juice is not great, but you can something you can combine.
Juice isn't good enough for me.
But you can combine that into a parlay. That's definitely going to happen. He's definitely going to get at minimum 1 steal. The other thing that you just don't know what to expect in a game like this. I mean, you know that Jokic is going to score, but is he going to play his final stint? Like, what is this thing going to look like?
There's some blow-up potential.
There's a high potentiality for some garbage time, which makes a better like myself a little nervous. So I like to, which is why I bet Reggie and Peyton. They're definitely getting
naturally.
I mean, Peyton and Christian, but I'm also going to bet Reggie. I'm going to bet Reggie to get over at 8.5 points.
How many layups does he have to get to hit over 8.5 points?
10, 12. I don't know.
I hate this
Gotta
bet.
go.
He's
got to go 4 of 12.
I hate that I always
5
just
of 12.
bet whatever Dev or D-Line says here. 'Cause I hate that bet.
When you hate that bet, you hate making money. You don't think Reggie Jackson's going to score 8
I just remember him dribbling right up chest to chest with Victor and trying to shoot a floater over him.
That's going to happen again, and that's actually great because then it's going to hit on our
block.
over 3.5 blocks for Victor Wembanyama.
A good point.
That's what I like today. Do you guys have any bets that you feel good about? Any storylines that fit
Yes,
into betting?
I do. Nikola Jokic over 30 points is plus 115. I'm taking that.
Really?
Have you seen what he does against the Spurs?
It's true. The question is, like,
He's a block for 30.
You're talking about every other time.
I'm talking about every time this year.
Good counter, Adam.
Christian Brown 6.5 points?
yes,
6.5 so low. I just think he's been scoring lately. He's been
and he's
going to
get time. He's going to get time today.
All right. That's it from Illegal Pete's. We're going to go hang with the homies. Everybody, thanks for hanging out. Go Nuggets.
Let's go, baby.
We'll see you on the other side.
We all silly like the mayor.